What's up, YouTube? It's your boy, the Blu-ray Bandit, back once again with another mail call video. Last week, I bid live on a big eBay lot full of Blu-rays, and it arrived in record time. Let's take a look. Welcome back. Like I said in the intro, last week I live bid on a large lot of Blu-rays and 4Ks, went through the entire auction evaluation process, calculated a maximum bid, and then live bid on the auction. And spoiler alert, I won it. It's now a week later. The package has arrived in record time, and so we are going to unbox it. First up, the elephant in the room. So I've taken a look at this off camera and it's concerning me. The package itself seems pretty well printed. I'm not sure why it would need kind of an authentication sticker. I think that was my first sign that this is potentially a bootleg. I should have known better because this is such a small package that supposedly contains a 23 movie collection. I think I got a little ahead of myself in thinking that if I were to win the auction, which I did, that I would be able to replace my individual package titles for the MCU cinematic universe with this nice, neat package. But actually having it in my hand tells a different story. Again, this is good packaging. I really don't have any problem with the packaging itself. What I more have an issue with is the fact that there are 3 movies on each disc, which seems like a lot for a Blu-ray disc. Like, I imagine were I to pop these into my Blu-ray player, that these are compressed more than the titles that are on each individual disc. So that was my first clue that this collection might be a little less than legitimate. My second clue was some of the text on the back. I'm not sure you can read this, but this says, Enderon Star Entertainment Company Ltd, Shashong District, New Taipei City, Taiwan. So it's possible that Marvel licensed this to a company in Taiwan, but it's also entirely possible that they did not. Then when you get to the warning, it reads, warning, the copyright proprietors have licensed the film, including its soundtrack, contained in this SE, whatever SE means, including copying, editing, altering, adaptation, exhibiting, renting, exchanging, hiring, lending, public performance, diffusion, broadcasting and or transmission by any means or otherwise dealing with this video compact disc or any part thereof is strictly prohibited. So yeah, I'm pretty sure this is not legit. Let's see if we can take it out. It's pretty tight, I would say, in here. And then once you actually get into the disc itself, you'll see that there's just not many discs in here. And not only that, but they don't snap in very well. And so, yeah, there's plenty of clues here that this set is probably less than legit. I'm hoping as we go through the other titles that we don't find this on more of them. My maybe 10th clue that this is less than legit is not in the printing on these discs. It's in the font they're using. I'm pretty sure that where it says Iron Man, The Incredible Hulk, and Iron Man 2, I'm pretty sure that is Comic Sans, which if you don't know what Comic Sans is, just do a Google search. I would say it's an infamous Microsoft default font. Again, the printing on the discs itself is very well done, but I can't imagine Marvel would allow this design to go out. Not only just the stroke on the black letters, the white stroke on the black letters, or maybe how tightly cropped this cinematic universe across the top is. Seems like they would center this better. But yeah, it's possible that this is legitimate, that this is a legitimate product in Taiwan and it is licensed and somehow somebody got a hold of it and went on eBay. But it's also entirely possible that this is bootleg. So if it is bootleg, I'm going to have to throw it away because I'm not going to sell somebody else a bootleg product. And in the end, I'll probably just give it away to somebody who knows that it's going to be bootleg. And maybe they can get some enjoyment out of it. But I The chances are good, unless I can verify that this is real and that it's not compressed to shit, then I will be keeping my individual copies of the 23 Marvel movies, which is pretty much a bummer. I was excited about this portion of the auction. I definitely didn't want to take a loss on this one. It looks like I probably am. Oh well, on to the next. Next up, Upgrade. I'm going to go through some Blu-rays pretty quickly. These are Blu-rays that I've talked about before that I already own, including Upgrade. This is a great movie. If you've not seen it, I already own it. So this copy that came in the auction, I will be reselling. The Saw 7 film collection. This collection has 2 movies per disc, which I've definitely seen out in the wild here in the US. I've never seen 3 on anything legitimate. Although I'm wondering, does one of these discs have 3? One of them does have 3 on them. So maybe it is a thing that is done. I just haven't seen it. I don't know. I am so confused by that MCU collection at this point. But yeah, this is all 7 movies. I do not own this, but I also don't care about the Saw series. So I will probably be reselling this most likely. Stephen King's It. This is the television miniseries that came out in the 80s, I believe, not the recent theatrical remake. I've actually never seen it, but I know it's legendary, and I already own a copy that I got at a pawn shop that I just have not watched yet, so I will be reselling this copy. Super 8. Also a good movie. Nostalgic. Wow. Seems to be a theme with movies popping out of their spots. Fun movie, much in the vein of E.T. or some of the earlier Steven Spielberg movies, even though he did not direct this. It definitely gives you those Amblin vibes for sure. I already have a copy, so I will be reselling this one. Next up is the Aliens series, and I would say this is almost the entire series. This is almost every Alien movie. Alien, Aliens, Alien 3, Alien Resurrection, Alien versus Predator, Alien versus Predator, Requiem, and Prometheus. I think the only film that's missing is the sequel to Prometheus, which I do not own, oddly enough. I will not be keeping these. I will be selling them. I haven't decided whether I'm going to sell them as a lot just to get them moving and out the door, or whether I will sell them individually. I'm pretty sure each of them is worth maybe $2 to $3 each. So I'm not sure it'll be worth the pain to list them individually as opposed to just selling them as a lot and having them go for between $15 to $20. But I won't be keeping them because I already have Prometheus and I already have the Alien quadrilogy, which for scale is this big. And so, as you guys know, I like my space savers. And since I don't care about Alien versus Predators, I'm going to be selling these and keeping this on my shelf. This is the Bourne Classified Collection. Includes all 4 movies plus bonus disc. This is a steelbook, pretty good condition. It's not too chipped up, although I did notice as I was pulling it out that it seems to have a little bit of an odd curvature here. I wouldn't say it's a dent because you can't actually feel it by rubbing your finger on it, but when you look down the top of it, there's definitely something going on there for sure. Just for comparison, the bottom looks just fine. It just seems to be this top area. I mean, I would identify this as a dent were I to resell it. Wow, there's definitely a dent right there and right there. So yeah, this is dented. For my purposes, I am definitely going to put this on eBay. I have the first 3 Bourne movies on Blu-ray, but they're in individual titles, so they take up 3 times the size of this steelbook. I personally don't care about the dent. It's going to spend 99% of its life on my shelf anyway. You got these double stacked discs inside the case. This adds 1 movie to my Bourne collection and saves space. So I will be selling my original trilogy collection and keeping this. Last Blu-ray before we get into the 4Ks. This is the Back to the Future 25th Anniversary Collection. This is another title I already own, so I will be selling this on eBay. All 3 discs. Everything looks good. It's in decent condition. It's certainly not flawless. My copy does not have this slipcase, but I don't really care about the slipcase, so I'm going to have to research to see whether that really matters for the resale value, whether it has the slipcase or not. If it does not matter, I'll keep the slipcase because if I can keep them, I do. But if it does matter, then I will be selling this because I don't really care about this outer sleeve. But anyway, regardless, this is going on eBay. Now we are into the 4Ks. This is Batman, Batman Returns, and Batman Forever. These are the original 1980s Batman films. I believe there was like one or two in the 50s or early 60s as well, but this is the one that brought Batman fully into the pop culture, starring Michael Keaton. I really enjoy Batman and Batman Returns. Batman Forever, a little bit less, but it's still a fun movie. This series actually has a fourth movie in it. I'm assuming this person doesn't like the fourth movie, which is why it was not in the auction, which makes sense to me. Not everybody loves, I think it was called Batman and Robin. I don't really even remember what the last one was, but it was really bad. These come with the slipcases. I've already checked the discs. And just to stop for a second and say that I am really happy that so far the rest of these do not look suspect. These look like legitimate copies. I'm also happy with the condition of these slips. I mean, they are nearly flawless, I would say. The only difference between this and brand new, from what I can tell, is the digital code, which I knew it did not come with. So adding these to the collection, I do not have these on Blu-ray, and so it'll be a new addition. Sticking with the Batman theme, this lot also included the Dark Knight trilogy. This is Christopher Nolan's trilogy in 4K. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight Rises, and The Dark Knight. Well, those are out of order. How about Batman Begins, The Dark Knight, and The Dark Knight Rises? These are upgrades for me. I own them all on Blu-ray as individual titles, so I will be reselling my Blu-ray copies and upgrading the series to 4K. Love The Dark Knight. Batman Begins is pretty good as well. And Rises has its moments for sure, but a great series. I'm sure I don't need to tell you that. Upgrading the collection. Next up, The Revenant. This is a film I own on Blu-ray, and I'm excited to upgrade it to 4K. Love this movie. I think I saw it twice around the time of release, once in the theater and once at home, but I have not seen it since. Alejandro G. Inarritu is one of my favorite directors. Leonardo DiCaprio and Tom Hardy, can't go wrong with them. And I love survival thrillers, and that's definitely what The Revenant is. I own The Revenant on Blu-ray, and I'm excited to upgrade it to 4K. The Martian, another upgrade from Blu-ray to 4K. I'll be putting my Blu-ray on eBay to help offset the cost of this copy. Another survival film. This one with Matt Damon surviving alone on Mars. This includes the theatrical version and the unrated extended cut of the film, which I have not seen. Excited to check this one out on 4K. Joker. This is a movie that I don't particularly love, but I've only seen once, and I've owned it on Blu-ray for a good amount of time. I got it at a pawn shop for $1 or $2. I don't remember. It was some ridiculously low price, even though the movie itself is not that old. I do remember respecting the movie from an artistic perspective, but just kind of feeling gross as I walked out of the theater. I think that's probably part of the intention of the movie. I do think it's a good movie. I just don't know when I'll revisit it. But I am going to sell my Blu-ray to offset the cost of this copy on 4K. And I'm glad that at some point, when I do decide to revisit it, it will be on the best format possible. Get Out. Love this movie. I already have it on Blu-ray. I will be upgrading it. I still need to get Us on 4K. Then I will have the entirety of Jordan Peele's theatrical output. But this is a good one. I'm sure you've heard about it. There's nothing like a good thriller, and if you can give me one that also has a social message embedded in it without being too heavy-handed, then you've got my attention, and Jordan Peele definitely did that with this film, Get Out. Terminator 2 Judgment Day with Slip. This is a 4K I already own, so I will be reselling this. Mine already has the slip, so basically this one is going right back out the door to help offset the price of these titles that I'm going to keep, as well as that probably bootleg copy of the entire MCU. I'm going to have a hard time getting over that one. Arrival, starring Amy Adams, Jeremy Renner, Forrest Whitaker. I love this movie. It's a great thriller based on aliens who come to, well, there's a little black piece that fell out of it. So maybe this case has an issue. It's broken somewhere. I don't know. I don't see anywhere. Maybe it was just an extra little piece of something somewhere. Oh, it does have a little bit of a blemish here as well. That's just the printing, the silver printing. It's not like a real dent or anything, but it does have a wavy cover, which I don't believe the other 4Ks we've looked at have had. So that's interesting. But yeah, Arrival, such a great movie. It's definitely a slow burner. So if you're not into those, you probably won't like this. I own it on Blu-ray. It's an upgrade to 4K, keeping it. Now we've got Halloween, the original, and Halloween, the most recent remake. I definitely enjoy this one. I'm excited to add it to the collection. I don't own it on any format. And now I have it on 4K. It's a bummer it did not come with the slip, because if you look this up on eBay, versions of this with the slip are easily going for upwards of $30. Either way, I'm excited to own it. The remake was a decent film. I watched it once in the theater. I have no need to ever watch it again. So even though I do not own a copy of this, I don't care to ever really own a copy of it. So I will be reselling this on eBay to offset the cost of this one. The Greatest Showman, another film that I do not have in my collection in any format, nor do I care. I will be reselling this. Again, a movie I don't hate for sure. I don't think it's necessarily a bad movie, but I also cannot imagine myself watching it again. Thus, it must be sacrificed to the eBay gods. Kick Ass with Slip. This is a movie I enjoy. Wow, a really tight slip. There we go. I like this movie a lot. Probably the one thing I don't like about it is that near the end of the movie, there is a joke about the season finale of Lost, which is such a bummer because the movie is so good and fun and kind of timeless for the most part until you get to that moment. In that moment, you realize exactly when this movie was made. I hate it when filmmakers put jokes in that are just so specific to a very specific time when the rest of the film is not specific to that time. And then you're going to put a joke in there that wasn't really even that funny in the moment. And it definitely isn't funny years afterwards. But anyway, rant over. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. I will be keeping this and selling my Blu-ray copy to offset the cost of this 4K. Green Book. Not much to say about this movie. It is a Best Picture Oscar winner. I actually already own this on 4K, so this is just an extra copy that I will be reselling. It. Chapter 1. So I own a copy of this on Blu-ray, but mine is a 2-disc set that has Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 in the same package. So not only is it a space saver, but it gives me both films in the series. Like most humans, I enjoy the first It much more than the second, the Chapter 2. So I am excited to have this on 4K because I believe Chapter 1 is a very rewatchable movie. I've only seen Chapter 2 once. I'll probably rewatch it someday, but I don't prefer it. I'm kind of in a little bit of a dilemma here because I definitely want to keep It Chapter 1 in 4K. But then what do I do with my 2-pack set with Chapter 2? I mean, I can't get rid of Chapter 2, nor am I going to actively track down Chapter 2 on 4K because I don't really care about it. But for now, I'm keeping this 4K version with a perfect slip. And I guess I'll just have 2 copies of Chapter 1. The Fifth Element, a 90s classic starring Bruce Willis, and I forget who the actress is in this. Mila Jovovich. Yeah, and Chris Tucker's in it as well, along with Gary Oldman. This is a classic 90s movie. It has a little bit of cheese to it, but that's part of the charm. Even at the time that it was released, it was a wacky sci-fi film, I would say. I have this on Blu-ray. Happy to upgrade it in 4K. John Wick 1 and 2. One of the things that would have made this lot even better is if it would have had all 3 John Wick movies in 4K. Unfortunately, it only had the first 2. This is a series that I have resisted purchasing before because I wanted to get all 3 in one fell swoop, preferably on 4K, although I would have taken Blu-ray had it been the right price. So both of these are new to the collection. Now I just have to find the third. Of course, the third has to be on 4K now since I have the first 2 on 4K. But yeah, a great Assassin series. I'm sure you guys have seen it, if not heard of it, at minimum. This is probably the series I'm most likely to rewatch the soonest, just because they're such fun turn off your brain movies. My John Wick collection has begun. Interstellar, another Christopher Nolan movie. This one sort of an homage to 2001 A Space Odyssey. I enjoy this film. I know some people, it's, their lesser favorite of the Christopher Nolan movies. Oh, our little peg popped out there. There we go. But I enjoy it. I enjoy Matt Damon in this and Matthew McConaughey. It gets a little weird towards the end, but it's a weirdness that I quite enjoy, even if it is a little tedious in length. I think the tediousness is part of its charm, in my opinion. Not everybody shares that opinion. I understand that. Hopefully, I will be able to upgrade all of my Nolan films to 4K. I obviously already own the Blu-ray, which I will be putting online to offset the cost of this copy. I'm slowly upgrading my Nolan films. Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse on 4K. I own this on Blu-ray. I'm excited to upgrade it to 4K, mostly because this is just a very visual movie, right? It has animation unlike pretty much any other animated film. Super stylized, super fun, super detailed, and very specific. Every frame is specifically designed. And so the idea of being able to watch this in the best possible format at home and dissect it kind of frame by frame is something I'm really looking forward to. Own it on Blu-ray. We'll be selling that and keeping this 4K. Braveheart, a classic Mel Gibson movie. He both directed it and starred in it. It won a bunch of Academy Awards, including Best Picture. I do not own this on Blu-ray, and so this is a new addition to the collection. It's surprisingly not a movie I've ever seen in a pawn shop or a thrift store or out in the wild on the used market, and the Blu-ray is not necessarily cheap. It's not super expensive either, but I've looked at this 4K online and been tempted to pull the trigger before, but it was always roughly in the $10 plus range before shipping. So excited to get this within the lot for a much less expensive price and excited to add it to the collection. Logan, the last of the Wolverine movies. I already own this movie on 4K, so I will be reselling this copy. Hacksaw Ridge. If you've been watching my videos, you've seen me unbox a brand new copy of this from Amazon that I recently purchased for $9.99 or maybe a few dollars less. I don't remember how much I paid for it. My copy is still wrapped, and so I will be keeping this copy and selling my unopened version for maximum return. E.T. I thought I had bought this on 4K at some point, but in looking at my collection, it turns out I only have it on Blu-ray, so I will be keeping this copy of it, selling my Blu-ray. It's obviously a classic. I'm trying to own all of the Steven Spielberg films. I think I'm only one away, and that one is his most recent stinker, BFG, which will arrive at some point in my collection and finish it off. The next task is to upgrade as many of his films as are available on 4K to that format. This big eBay lot knocked one out for me. E.T. on 4K, selling my Blu-ray. Ready Player One, another Steven Spielberg title, and another one that has appeared in a previous mail call video. My copy is still wrapped on my shelf. This will be the second copy of Ready Player One on 4K that I will be reselling, which is great. I will probably make 2 or 3 times what I paid for it, and that difference will go for paying some of the titles that I'm going to keep within this lot. The Mummy Ultimate Trilogy. This is kind of why I'm surprised that there's that bootleg copy of the cinematic universe in this set, because I noticed in the photo of the lot that these were very well kept 4K and Blu-ray titles. You could just tell by the photo. And one of the clues was that he actually kept the J card on a couple of the titles, which I know some really like. You think people who like slip covers are hardcore. What about the people that pay a premium for the J card on these sets just because they want every piece of the packaging? I'm going to go online and see what this J card is worth because I don't care about the J card, but I know some people really do, and some of the J cards are worth far more than the discs with its normal packaging itself. I already own the Mummy Ultimate Trilogy on Blu-ray, so I will be reselling it. Nice little magnet snap right there. This is the entire trilogy in one nice, neat little set. It does have some damage on the outside. You can kind of see it right here. It's kind of silvery, so it kind of looks like a part of the packaging, but I'm pretty sure it's just kind of worn off right there, and there's a little bit of wear and tear on the edges. But overall, nothing crazy. If the J card is worth anything, I'll be reselling that, but I'll be keeping this since it's a 4K upgrade from my Blu-ray. I'll let you know how the J card goes. And finally, Men in Black Trilogy on 4K, another one with the J card. The only reason anybody would want this is because they are a completist, which I respect. I'm glad that I have a little bit of a completist streak in me, but not one that would take me to that extreme for sure. But I will be putting this J card on eBay as well, depending on what it fetches. Hopefully it will help pay for the entirety of this 4K set. This is all 3 of the Men in Black films. They come in these paper sets rather than traditional cases, which is fine with me. These are in generally good condition. There's a little bit of like a little notch right there, a little bit of wear and tear here and there. But for the most part, I mean, this is in decent used condition for sure. The box itself is in pretty great condition. I mean, there's almost no wear and tear on this. There's a little bonk right there. But yeah, generally for a used condition set, this is very good, I would say. Not perfect, not like new, but very good. I enjoy the Men in Black films. I see them all the time in pawn shops, but they're never quite at the price I want, nor have I been able to get all 3 in one spot. So I just don't buy them until I come across them kind of in that preferred way. But I've always wanted to own them. I assumed it would be on Blu-ray, but this eBay lot afforded me the opportunity to knock them all out in one shot on 4K. This one definitely being added to the collection. All right, there we go. That's the full unboxing for the big eBay lot, including the probably bootleg set of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for your best shot at a free digital code. I'll be doing a follow-up video probably in a few months after I do all the resales related to this lot, showing you exactly how much it cost me, whether I've come out even, or maybe whether I've made a few bucks at the end of this journey. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Until then, bye.